Greetings. What's good, YouTube? What's good, subscribers? What's good? Shout out to Ahua Network. Shout out to Ahua, Brother Ahua. Shout out to ICCC. Some shout outs, man. And of course, my subscribers. Yeah, so today we're gonna be discussing what the Council of the Indies is and their role in colonization of the Americas, the structure and how it lasts up until the abolishment of slavery upon 1834. Okay, and this is also evidence that the original people of the Americas are the olive tone people, okay, or the copper tone people, okay, like myself, and what you call the Negro, okay. All right, so let's get to it. The Council of the Indies, officially the Royal and Supreme Council of the Indies, Spanish, right? Really Supremo Consejo de las Indias, was the most important administrative organ of the Spanish Empire for the Americas and the Philippines. Now, this right here is very important, okay? Because when you check the history, galleon ships that the Spaniards used to transfer goods from the Americas to the Philippines. These were the ships they were using to take the chinos over here, okay? All right, and they have said with their own, they have said it that the indigenous people were not looking like Asians, okay? So if they were not looking like Asians, who did they look like? You know what I'm saying? Well, anyway, let's get back to the point. All right. The crown held absolute power over the Indies, and Council of the Indies was the administrative and advisory body for those overseas realms. It was established in 1524 by Charles V to administer, okay? When you're talking about administer, you're talking about a trust, a body politic, you know what I'm saying? But it's set up as a trust, okay? The Indies, administer the Indies. Spain's name for its territories, such as administrative entity, see, it's a trust. And the consular model of the Council of Castile was created following the Spanish conquest of the Aztec Empire. Right? So after they, decimate the Aztec Empire through their deceptive practices, what you call the encomiendero or encomiendas, or your repartimiento, they created this so-called dynasty or crown, so to speak, to colonize the Americas, okay? In 1521, which demonstrated the importance of the Americas, originally an itinerary council that follows Charles V, it was subsequently established as an autonomous body with legislative, executive, and judicial functions, okay? So, in your United States government, you have the legislative, the executive, and the judicial, right? So this is the model that they use to create the United States corporation, right? Bear that in mind. So the game never changed. The game just have a different name, all right? By Philip II of Spain, right? And placed in Madrid in 1561. Council of the Indies was abolished in 1812, okay? That's not too long ago. I mean, that's a little over 100 years ago. You see what I'm saying? So if you check it, the system lasted up until where they so-called abolished slavery, right? By the Cadiz Cortes, briefly restored in 1814. So they restored it, okay? So that means it never went anywhere, okay? It's still here. In 1814 by Ferdinand VII of Spain, and definitively abolished in 1834 by the Regency, acting on behalf of the 4-year-old Isabella II of Spain. Okay, so the 4-year represent that four-year term of the presidential candidate in the office, all right? Queen Isabella had granted extensive authority to Christopher Columbus, then withdrew that authority and established direct royal control, putting matters of the Indies in the hands of her chaplain, Juan Rodriguez de Fonseca, right? In 1493, the Catholic monarchs, Isabella and Ferdinand, designated Rodriguez de Fonseca study the problems related to the colonization process arising from what was seen as the tyrannical behavior of Governor Christopher Columbus and his misgovernment of natives. The Iberian settlers, right? Pay attention. And the Iberian settlers, pay attention. Okay? So, when you see the Iberian, remember, the Moors were in the Iberian Peninsula, okay? So they were the ones coming over here, all right? Along with these people, all right? And showing them the ropes. But what happened, it seemed like they turned on them, okay? Rodriguez de Fonseca effectively became minister for the Indies and laid the foundations for the creation of a colonial bureaucracy. He was presided over a committee, our council, which contained a number of members of a Council of Castile, formed a Junta de Indias of about 8 councillors. Emperor Charles V was already using the term Council of the Indies in 1519. The Council of the Indies was formally created on August 1, 1524. The king was informed weekly and sometimes daily of decisions reached by the council, which came to exercise supreme authority over the Indies at the local level and over Casa de Contracción, right? And that's a port, okay? House of Trade, okay? Founded in 1503 at Seville, at a customs storehouse for the Indies. Civil suits of sufficient importance could be appealed from the Audiencia. Okay, the Audiencia is this is what the encomienda is, right? Right. This is where they like appeal. It's an appellate court, but this was a part of the old encomienda system, right? In the New World, the council functioning as a court of last resort. There were 2 secretaries of the council, one in charge of Peru, Chile, terra firma, right? That's northern South America. They call it terra firma, meaning firm land, okay? Firm terrain, okay? Northern South America and Kingdom of New Granada. The other was in charge of New Spain, encompassing Mexico, Guatemala, Nueva Galicia, Hispaniola, and the Philippines. Now, bear in mind, Philippines, right? So this is why you have a large influx of these Chino-looking people within these territories, okay? Because they were bringing them in up until the 1800s, okay? They were still coming here. The name of the council did not change with the addition of the Indias Orientales of the Philippines and other Pacific territories claimed by Spain to the original Indias Occidentales. Internecine fighting and political instability in Peru and the uniting efforts of Bartolomé de las Casas. Yeah, right. I did a build on this Jesuit on behalf of the natives' rights resulted in charge overall of the structure of a council in 1542, issuing new laws. Okay, pay attention, which put limits on the rights of Spanish holders of the encomiendas, grants of indigenous labor. Under Charles II, the council undertook the project to formally codify the large volume of council and crown decisions legislation for the Indies in 1680 publications. Now, check this out. All these codes you see right now, right? They're all like, how they put it, publication of their laws, but they codify like your Title 18. I'm saying all these things derive from these these laws, right? Publication. So it's as early as 1680 they were codifying the laws. Okay, the laws of the Indies, right, are recodified in 1791. So they recodified it. Okay, so who knows what they changed? Okay, killed you on paper. I killed our ancestors on paper. The Council of the Indies was usually headed by the ecclesiastic, but the councillors were generally non-clerics trained in law. In later years, nobles and royal favorites were in the ranks of councillors, as well as men who had experience in high courts, audiences, of the Indies. A key example of such experienced counsel was Juan de Solorzano Pereira, author of Political Indiana, who served in Peru prior to being named to the Council of the Indies, and led the project on laws of the Indies, right? Those are the laws of the Indies, as you know, is the encomiendas, okay? Other noteworthy presidents of the council were Francisco Tello de Sandoval, Juan de Ovano y Godoy, Pedro Moya, Catrias, former Archbishop of Mexico, and Luis de Velasco Marquez de Silimanos, formerly Viceroy of both Mexico and Peru. Although initially the council had responsibility for all aspects of the Indies under Philip II, the financial aspect of the empire were shifted to the Council of Finance 1556 and 57. A source of conflict between two councils, especially since Spanish America came to be the source of the empire's wealth when the Holy Office of the Inquisition was established as an institution in Mexico and Lima. In 1570, the Council of Indies was removed from control. The head of the Supreme Council of the Inquisition, S. Juan de Arvando y Godoy, became president of the Council of the Indies. Right? And a general description, Council of the Indies. In 1571-75, he was appalled by the ignorance of the Indies by those serving the council. He sought the creation of a general description of territories, which was never completed, but the Relaciones Geográficas were the result of that project, right? And we gotta dig on this. Were a series of elaborate questionnaires distributed to the lands of King Philip II of Spain in the Viceroy New Spain in North America. They were done upon his command from the response. So this is where there was dividing up the land. Okay, the height of the council's power was in the 16th century. Its power declined and the quality of councils decreased. In the final years of the Habsburg dynasty, some appointments were sold or were accorded to people obviously unqualified, such as a 9-year-old boy whose father had rendered services to the crown. Right? So till this day, the